Where are you guys at today?
So we're in northern Utah at a place called Flaming Gorge. So we're boating.
In a Flaming Gorge. That was my nickname in high school.
Oh, I bet it was.
What does that mean? What does that mean?
Get ready to enter the Thrive Time Show.
We started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom and we'll show you how to get here. Started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom, now we here.
We started from the bottom, now we're on the top. Teaching you the systems to get what we got. Colin Dixon's on the hooks, I break down the books. Z's bringing some wisdom and the good looks. As the father of five, that's why I'm alive. So if you see my wife and kids, please tell them hi. It's C and Z up on your radio. And now 3, 2, 1, here we go.
We started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom and we'll show you how to get here.
Yeah.
One of the biggest things we picked up when we picked up the Thrive 15 team was an entire team. You want an SEO guy that knows things about search engine optimization? Got it. You got a website guy that's built big websites like Garth Brooks' website? Awesome, we have it. He's coming in. If I had to pay for that on my own, outside of Thrive 15, there's just no way. For us, one of our most immediate needs when I got connected with Clay was technology. We had a website, but I had a website in Tulsa. Our other partner had a website in Colorado. They did everything from doing a drone video where they flew over all of our markets with a drone. They integrated that into our site. They built every single thing that I think of, they do. We do a podcast. If I was gonna produce my own podcast, there's no, I mean, that alone, just that alone would be what I pay Thrive, just for that. But then if you add the fact that I've got, if I need a business card design, if I need a website build, if I need this, if I need that, I know what I would pay for that. If I had to go a la carte, I feel guilty sometimes, like I don't probably write a big enough check for the value that I get. I think there's a lot of entrepreneurs that have ideas what they want to do with their business and how they want to grow and what market they want to be in and how they can increase production and do all this. But it's not about having 4,000 ideas. It's about having 12 and executing them 4,000 times. That's the trick, in my opinion, and that's where Thrive's value comes in. I feel like I have my own staff, my own, like, I don't know, 20-person team that when I need something, I just go to them and it happens.
All right, Thrive Nation, on today's show, we're interviewing an incredible guest, an incredible longtime client of ours, a man who has a real business that really does help real people on the planet solve real problems. It's called, let's I don't want to steal his thunder. Ryan Hutchins, welcome on to the Thrive Time Show. How are you, sir?
Oh, doing fantastic, Clay.
Now, the name of your company, it's still Peak Business Valuation, right?
That is correct.
And in this, the reason why I'm asking is it's a crazy world. Things are changing fast. We don't know, So Sam Walton, back in the day, wrote a book called Made in America. And in this book, Sam Walton once had the line, is he said, there's only one boss, the customer. And he can fire everybody in the company from the chairman on down simply by spending his money somewhere else. Let me repeat it again. There's only one boss, the customer. And he can fire everybody in the company from the chairman on down simply by spending his money somewhere else. So what I find is business owners, a lot of times there's so many self-help books, so many books about, getting rich, how to make a lot of money, that people can get confused as to how you actually make money. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tap into your wisdom today, and we're going to focus on one longtime client I've worked with, and then you're going to hear from him on today's show. This company's called PMH OKC. He sells pergolas, hot tubs, outdoor living areas, beautiful fireplaces, pavilions, pergolas, fire pits, privacy walls, patios. This is what he does. He turns everybody's backyard into a living space that people just don't want to leave. So I want to tap into your wisdom on this. How would a guy because his business is doing very successfully. He's doing very well. But there's somebody listening to today's show and their business isn't doing well. And I'm going to walk people through the 4 steps of building a successful company. I want to tap into your wisdom because you evaluate companies and you determine what they're worth. So step 1, you have to find a problem. With this business, knowing very little about the company, just looking at what I've shown you so far, what problems do you think that this guy solves?
Creating a backyard that you love and want to spend time in rather than something you look at and think, I don't want to mow that today.
So you've got to, now, again, I'm just asking you this, and it's, do you have any desire? I mean, I'm not trying to sell you something, but do you have any desire at any point to turn your backyard into some backyard pool paradise, or not so much?
Oh, 100%. First, I need a backyard because right now it's only 100 square feet.
Really?
Yes.
Really? 100? So do you have like you live in like a condo or something, or what?
We live in like just a house, but the backyard, it's an HOA community,
Mm.
and so it's like an open backyard. So we're now looking at like 1-2 acre parcels, but it requires us to leave kind of the city where we're at to go out into country.
Got it. So step one, though, we find a problem. Now, the problem we have here is that you don't have the problem. So you would not be an ideal and likely buyer for his company yet. Also, you don't live in the same state as him because you're based in Utah. So, but I think a lot of people right there, Ryan, they get that screwed up. They have a problem that they see, but the market doesn't agree that that is a problem. So it's like, there's a lady I talked to this past week who had an idea to make an app, and her app, true story, would help you organize that which you watch on TV. So the app you put in all your preferences, and then this app tells you what to watch on TV. Seriously. And she's spent, according to her, well over $500,000 of her savings to develop this app that you put in your information, and it tells you what you should watch on TV. I just would love to get your thoughts on that. Why do you think maybe with that particular company she's not making any money?
Well, one, Netflix has already done it, and two, people don't want to waste time, so they already know what they want to watch. They don't need someone telling them what to watch.
And I spent a lot of time with her. I really tried to help her out and didn't want to hear it. I mean, we schedule free consultations at Thrive Time Show. And have you ever dealt with somebody who reaches out to you and they say, can you evaluate my company? And you sit down with them and you determine that their business isn't worth a lot, even though in their mind they think it's worth a lot?
Yep, I've been working with the same guy for 5 years who's been developing a perpetual motion machine.
What does that even mean?
I have no clue, but he does it we update his valuation every year for gift tax purposes.
Okay. So step one, you find a problem. Okay. So step two, you have to create a solution. Now, the problem is people want to turn their backyard into some sort of paradise where they'd never want to leave. So the solution that Randy Antrican provides at PMH OKC is he provides all these solutions. In fact, the church I go to, they reached out to him and said, hey, in front of the church, we want to add a pergola, a nice decorative entrance, so people after church will want to hang out and spend time at the church and fellowship and meet other people. And they kind of want to incorporate this look into their church. That's the idea they want to do. And again, there's somebody out there that's struggling with this, and they've overthought entrepreneurship. But I'm trying to get down to the basics. You find a problem, and then you create a solution. So let's talk about it. Let's do a fictitious scenario, okay? So let's pretend that you called PMH today, and you said, hey, I want to turn my backyard into a paradise. That's the thing. I say, okay, well, great. At PMH OKC, a couple things we do that no one else does. One, we're the highest rated and most reviewed outdoor living company in Oklahoma. Second, we've been doing this longer than anybody else. And third, we have financing options available for you. So you can do like a monthly payment plan if you want, or if you want to pay up front, we can work with you on that. So as an example, if you wanted to do a $100,000 project with current interest rates, your payment today would be about this much. What questions would you have before you're like, okay, sounds good, I'm going to pay you?
Ooh. Well, I have a really weird request. One of the things that I want to put in my backyard is like one of those residential parks that people go to, and it's like a 2-3 story like park set. I want to put that in my backyard. Can they do it?
And see that right there, these are the kind of profound questions that, can he do it? Can he not do it? I don't exactly know. I know that Randy's selling, $400,000 or $500,000 a week of solutions to people. And right there, he has to figure out his niche. And what he found out a while back there, Ryan, was that his niche is hot tubs, pergolas, outdoor kitchens, fire. These items here, these
Are the niches.
these 12 items, this is what he does. Hot tubs, TV cabinets, landscaping, 3D design, fire pits, pools. This is what he does. And you're describing, what would I even need to Google to see what you're talking about right now?
Oh, there's no point to Google it. It's I've researched all the companies that provide the services. But my main question for Randy would be, like, how long does it take to put together like a set of specs
Yep.
for the backyard?
Yep.
And after the specs are approved, like how long until they start
Yep.
on the process, and then when does it finish?
See, and this is, so step one, you find a problem. Step two, and again, you have to find a problem that real people on the planet Earth, that real people, I'm taking notes here, folks, that real people, I'll put it in the show notes, that real people on the planet Earth have. Step two, you create a solution that real people, this is big, real people, that not theoretical people, that real people on the planet will pay for. All right. Now, the next one is you got to sell the solution to real people, real people on the real planet Earth. Now, with Randy, what we found is he needs to set up a consultation. So he sets up a consultation. He shows up at your house. He meets with you and your wife. He goes over the options, talks, you tell him what you want. And he says, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to come back with a 3D rendering of what I think you're saying. And that right there will allow me to see if we're on the same page. So he'll come back. So he books an appointment. He says, today it's Friday. And it's Friday at 10 a.m. I'll meet you next Friday at 10 a.m. with a mock-up. So he shows up, and the mock-up he makes looks exactly like your house. And this is what he shows up with the next week. 3D.
That's
rendering.
cool.
Would that wow you?
Oh, 100%. I would be sold. I'm sold already.
And so it gets people fired up because they're like, yes, he can do it. Yes. Okay. But then he has to sell the solution. He has to say, okay, now as far as payments go, do you want to do payments over time? Did you want to pay up front? What are and let's kind of role play through this scenario. Okay. So we're role playing through this scenario. So let's role play. Let's pretend you just saw the 3D rendering. And now I'm going to go in for the close, because someone does have to buy. Real humans on the planet Earth have to actually buy something. Okay, here we go. So Ryan, with the rendering we just looked at here, really to get started, we require 10% down today to reserve your spot. And then basically you're making 3 payments, a third. So you'll pay a third when we get started, a third, when we do the next draw, and then a third when we're done. Did you want to do the 10% to payment today? It'd be a debit card or credit card, or what were you thinking?
Credit card.
And that's what he has to do. And what happens is people are like, I made an app that takes payment for the customer. We've all been to Olive Garden recently. Have you been to Olive Garden recently, Ryan?
A month ago, yes.
Dude, did your waiter try to hide behind a non-personality and shove that iPad into your face?
It was already at the table.
Did they try to hide from you and make you do everything on that? Did that happen?
I honestly don't remember. All I remember is my kids clicked a button and we paid for games on the iPad.
Yeah. And so at the end of the day, it's very interesting, but some people, they do not want to talk to their customers. They want everything just to happen online. You got to book it online. You got to sell it online. I want it to convert online. I want people to be able to pay online, convert online. I don't have to talk to a customer. I want it to be automatic, automated, recurring. Don't want to have to talk to a human. Let's talk about this, though. For PMH OKC, why would his business not work for the customer to buy a hot tub, pool, outdoor living space online entirely?
Because it's a visual process. You have to see it, look at it, assess the size. Like it's all visual. So.
Okay, so I'm going to switch scenarios. Let's say that I reached out to your business, okay? Because if you go to peakbusinessvaluation.com, you guys do help people with buying a business, selling a business, obtaining an SBA loan, equipment appraisals. You do all that. So I'm going to go ahead and call you right now, okay? And I'm going to call you, and the purpose of my call is I'm going to ask you some things related to my life, and I want to see your sales process, okay? You ready?
Okay.
Here we go. I'm calling you. Here we go.
Hey, this is Ryan Hutchins with Peak Business Valuation.
Hey, I wanted to learn about selling a business. I've got a business that does about $2 million a year of profit, and I would like to sell the company. And I just wanted to know kind of what the process looks like.
Oh, perfect. Well, first off, what is your name?
Clay, Clay, Clark.
Clay. Awesome, Clay. Um, Phenomenal business, first off, to be doing 2 million in profit. What type of business do you own and operate?
This particular business is a haircut chain. We cut hair for men's haircut chain, kind of like a country club for men's hair.
Oh, perfect. So you're looking to sell your business. What's leading you to want to sell your company?
I think that I'm going to go live in the mountains in a log cabin and spend my day teaching myself how to carve wood.
Okay, perfect. Well, before we begin, a couple questions. Like, what research have you performed in order to understand the process of selling a business?
Very little. I heard you on the Thrive Time Show podcast. Love that show. And I heard you on there, and I thought, well, if you're on the Thrive Time Show, I should at least call you.
Oh, perfect. Well, I'll add a couple of points to that. So if you've heard us on Thrive, so a couple places, and I'll email this over to you. We're the highest rated and most reviewed business valuation firm in the country. And let me define business valuation for you. So we help individuals, whether they're buying or selling a business, understand the value of that company. And for your instance, you're wanting it for transactional purposes so that you can better understand the value of your company, so that when you're talking with a prospective buyer, you're more well educated and know what to sell your business off of in those value drivers. Um, and two, we also like our turnaround time compared to those that we work with. So typically it takes about a month to do a business valuation, but with us it takes about 2 weeks. And so from a time perspective, when would you like to start and kind of receive your business valuation?
I'd like to get going as soon as possible. I've thought about this for a long time, and
Uh-huh.
I didn't take action because I wanted to get the timing right. But now I'm in a spot where I
Yep.
know the timing, and so I want to move forward now.
Okay, perfect. And we could start today. Are there any questions that you have with respect to how to value a business? Any questions around that?
What's it going to cost me to hire you?
Yeah, so for the size of your business at 2 million in profit, I would assume 10, 20, you're probably doing anywhere between 7 and 9 million in revenue. Is that a fair estimate?
Yes.
Okay, so based on that, we would be around $5,000 to $6,000, and it would take us about 2.5 weeks to perform the business valuation. And to better help you understand kind of what you're jumping into, with the email that I'm about to send to you with our kind of Google reviews as well as video testimonials, I'm also going to share with you a sample valuation report. So our deliverable is a PDF based on the size of your company. Is around 50 to 70 pages explaining how we arrived at the value of your company. So I'm going to send that to you along with an explanation, kind of describing what the valuation report is, and it kind of walks you through, kind of like getting your tax return for the first time. You just look at the number of what taxes you owe. Like, I want this to be more of an educational experience. So I'll send a sample report as well as a document request list of all the items that we would initially need to start on the business valuation. Any questions about that I've shared with you?
Pause. So this is the thing though. Like this is the basics of how to build a successful business. And most people, again, Ryan, that they're out there trying. Most people I know, not our listeners, thankfully, they're trying to solve a problem that the world doesn't want them to solve. You know, I had a guy come by the other day at the office, knocks on the door. True story. Knocks on the door. Hi, Mr. Clark. How are you? I noticed that you had a lot of trees out there that were just kind of growing, and I come in and I clean them up, and I said I respect you, appreciate you stopping by. I do not want to clean up my trees. I like them to look that way. And he's like, well, what I do though is I help bring shape and form. And I said, let me try again. I want my tree / forest, my whatever, to be unkept, and that's how I like it. Okay, so I appreciate you. And he's like, well, I'm only going to be here for the next couple of days. And I'm going, the whole estimation of loss, take away, close, move, that doesn't work. If someone's not interested, thank you, bye. But like, there's a lot of people that are trying to pitch something that people don't want. Step 2, you got to create a solution that real people on the planet will pay for. Randy's been so successful at PMH OKC, and you've been so successful at Peak Business Valuation because people are actually happy with the solutions that you provide. People aren't saying, I hate the service, but I went ahead and signed up because you're my cousin. That's not going to work. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. Okay. Step 3, you got to sell that solution, baby. You got to sell that thing. Selling is just finding a problem and selling the solution. That's what it is. Now, step 4, you got to nail it and scale it. So we go into part 2 of today's show. We're going to hear from Randy. He's going to talk about the systems and the processes and how we've helped him grow his business by 70% year after year. I mean, the success is incredible. I mean, he went from like let's call it a $1 million business, $1 million business, to now it's like a $15 million a year business. I mean, it's unbelievable growth, and that's powerful. How did he do it? There's a lot of details that go into that, and that's why we schedule one-on-one consultations. That's why we have our in-person workshops, and that's why you provide the services that you provide. I mean, obtaining an SBA loan, getting equipment appraisals, selling a business, buying a business. Those are more of a long-form conversation. I'll give you the final word there. For anybody out there that wants to get a hold of you, who's a good fit, who isn't. I mean, you guys have had tremendous growth, and I want to make sure the listeners out there know who's a good fit, who isn't, so no one's wasting anybody's time.
Yeah, if anyone wants to get a hold of me, again, my name is Ryan Hutchins, Peak Business Valuation, and our website is peakbusinessvaluation.com. They can also give us a call at 435-359-2684. And very much like Randy, we do an initial consultation for free because we need to understand why you need to understand the value of a business, whether you're looking to buy or sell a business or looking to obtain an SBA loan. Like, we need to understand your circumstance, and we help you understand the value of the business, but we go beyond that and kind of help you take action once you understand the value of the business. Because once you're ready to sell, like, just understanding the value is great, but there's so much more that needs to happen. And we want to help build a plan for you. Even if we're not there to walk you through, we want to give you direction because this is your first time selling. So that's what we do. We help individuals understand the value of a business.
Ryan, it's been an honor to work with you these past few years. It's continually exciting to see you grow that business. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think since we met you guys are up. What's the percentage again now, the total growth percentage?
Yeah, 488%.
Oh, sick. You said,
Yep.
Can you repeat that again? I blacked out.
So 488%.
Real quick, I struggle with typing large numbers. Could you repeat it just one more time? I think I might have sprained my brain while typing that number. Could you tell me that one more time?
Yeah, so 488%.
Let that sit in. Folks, let that simmer. Let that sizzle. Let that sizzle. Hey, Ryan, thank you so much for joining us today. Have a great rest of your day, sir, and we'll talk to you next week.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks, Clay.
See ya. Bye.
See ya.
Thrive Nation, here we are on a very special occasion. We have kind of a podcast reunion of sorts. To my very far right, I believe we got to scoot over a little more to get Randy on camera. We're going to do it. This is Randy Antrican, longtime client, massive success story. Randy, welcome on to the Thrive Time Show. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great. Thanks, Clay.
And Randy, tell everybody out there, what's the name of your company? Where can people learn more about it?
So we have two companies. PMH OKC is our construction company. And then we also have a retail store that kind of, just pigtails on that with that we sell all the products that we install for outdoor living. So luxury outdoor living is what we do: fireplaces, fire pits, pools, pavilions, that kind of stuff.
And then Sean, we have your clients here, the good folks, Susan and Steve Stewart. Is that correct?
Yes, indeed.
And what's their product? What do they do?
They have an awesome cleaning cloth called the Ultimate Cloth. And that is something we've been working on, helping them get marketing campaigns out for using the Dream 100 system.
So Susan and Steve, I welcome onto the show. How are you guys?
Thanks. We're doing great.
Excited.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Glad to be here.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to interrogate you guys today about your product, and we're going to play a little game here. We're gonna be teaching branding and marketing and these sorts of things, but I also want to interrogate you about your product. So first question I have here for you is, why would anybody, and Randy, I'm going to ask you next, why would anybody buy the Ultimate Cloth? Then I'm going to ask Randy why anybody would buy anything at all ever from pmhokc.com. So we'll start with you guys. Why would anybody want to buy the Ultimate Cloth products there?
Well, I'll sound like a little bit of an ad, but it's just the truth. It's because it makes their cleaning easier, faster, less expensive, and does a better job.
And so when you say Ultimate Cloth, what does it feel like? What does it look like?
Different.
It's got kind of it feels kind of like a suede, or like a chamois, kind of a leathery kind of a feel. It's not like the old style microfibers, the terry cloth feel. It's a totally different look and feel. It's really just this, as far as the feel goes, with the suede or leather kind of a feel. When it gets wet, it feels different when it's wet and when it's dry. So
now, how did you guys originally hear about us?
Well, we heard about you. You were being interviewed, or not. I don't even know if it would be called interviewed. You were on a show with His Grace and Glory, Amanda and.
Oh yeah, Grace and Glory. Okay.
Yeah, and it was you and Vanessa and Aaron.
Okay. And Randy, how did you originally hear about us? How did that happen?
I was brought by Bronson Schubert. So I came to a conference.
Now, Bronson Schubert, for everybody out there who don't know, Bronson Schubert is a very successful client. He's an insurance agent. I was talking to him yesterday, Randy, and he was hitting the weights and visiting his new sauna, some of the fruits of his efforts. Yep. He said, Clay, as soon as we hop off this coaching call, I'm headed to the sauna and headed to the weight room. Have you seen his weight room?
It's pretty nice.
Pretty nice.
It's a whole, I would say it's the size of your building.
Really?
And it's just made out to be like a big meathead gym.
That's nice. Okay. So Randy, why would anybody want to buy a product or service from PMH OKC, or what kind of products and services do you sell at PMH OKC and Patio Galaxy?
Well, it is kind of luxury outdoor living. You walk out your backyard, anything that you see, we can basically build, but our focus is bringing families together. So facilitating that by making that space, making sure that that is something that will, have friends come over and want to spend time with you. A lot of empty nesters have kids that, don't spend a lot of time, but whenever we build our products there, that really just kind of opens the door for that. So Perfect My Home is what PMH stands for. And that's really what our main focus is.
And that's pmhokc.com, pmhokc.com. Now the challenge that Sean and I have, as consultants, is when we meet great folks here, like Susan and Steve, or like you, Randy, we are trying to help, the business owners scale their company, reach more customers. And what's been great about working with PMH OKC is that the market already wants to have pergolas. Like they want pergolas. Like you didn't invent pergolas. They're already calling you saying, can I get a pergola? Or people already want a swimming pool, people. And so for PMH OKC, a lot of what we had to do was just get you in front of ideal and likely buyers more often. What's the number one most requested product that, Randy, that people call you about and ask you about, or maybe even order online?
Yeah, it changes time of the year. Like right now it's fire features, but I would say our number one product is pergolas.
Pergolas.
Yep.
And people people reach out. They typically ask you on the phone. What's the first question they ask you on the phone?
Well, a lot of them ask me, what's the rough price? They ask me how long it's going to take to get it put in. And so I think like just the main questions, that's the qualifiers that they kind of go through with every company in the beginning.
So let's talk about this real quick. And folks, I want everybody, if you don't have a copy of the Boom Book, you go to thrivetimeshow.com/free resources and you can download it. So I'm going to hold this up to the screen real quick here. Okay. Because we want to take everybody through this success path because it works. So step one, you got to figure out your goals. Now, I'm not going to ask you, Susan and Steve or Randy, what your goals are, but as far as finances, that kind of thing, but you have to know your goals. I mean, you have to know your goals. Right now, we were just walking on the property. We just ordered a trailer full of pinion wood from Randy, and we ordered a trailer full. And one of my goals, I love to have pinion wood. That's the thing. But right now, we're converting our property into a hobby farm. And I know that you might say, "Why are you doing that?" I've always wanted to do that. But I clearly know my goals and what my goals cost. I know what my goals are and what they cost. And then you got to figure out how many customers you need to have to hit those goals. So I'll go to you, Randy, then I'll go back here to the folks at the Ultimate Cloth. Probably, Randy, in your mind, when you sell a pergola, what profit you make per pergola. I'm not asking for what your percentage is, but why is it so important for you to know those numbers, especially in a time where the cost of materials goes up and down so radically? Why is it important for you to know your numbers?
Well, I think the climate that we're in right now is the perfect example. Prices go up and you got to know where you have to be. And, you know, you make your whole budget after the whole year off of those numbers. You have to make tweaks. So, you know, I know my numbers all the time on every product, and it always starts with profit margin. And then I calculate my overhead, and then that ends up to be whatever I have to charge the customer.
And I bet you if I sit down with 100 business owners, 95% of the time, they don't know their numbers. And I'm not beating people up. It's they know the product, they know the service, they just don't know the numbers. And we've got to ask ourselves today, folks, how many somethings do you need to sell in order to hit your goals? You've got to do that. And Sean, when you work with clients, how often do you find as a percentage they don't know their numbers? Usually.
Every time.
And by the way, make sure you eat that, Mike, you beautiful man.
Every time.
Every time?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's very common. So with the Ultimate Cloth, what are you charging for the Ultimate Cloth? That's the first question people are going to ask is, what does it cost? How much does the Ultimate Cloth actually cost if I want to buy one right now at ultimatecloth.com?
If you only want one, then it's going to be $7.
Okay.
But the more you get, the lower the price goes to a point. So like one of the most popular packages that we sell is 12 cloths for $48.
12 for 48?
So that makes it $4 a piece. So you can see when the quantity goes up, it makes it more beneficial not to have just one.
So again, folks, step one, you got to know your numbers. But step two now, you got to know how many hours you're willing to work to make the business work. Now, one thing that Randy and I connect on is, you know, we both start the day early.
Yep.
And it's not a competitive thing. It's like we're starting the day early because we have so much that's coming at us. If you're an entrepreneur out there, you know, people ask me all the time, well, Clay, how are you able to, you know, organize the Reawaken America tour while also running your business? Well, just throwing it out there, organizing the Reawaken America tour is the single easiest task in my day. Why? Because it's only once a month and it's fun. It's joyful. All the speakers are there for the right reasons. General Flynn wants to be there. Mike Lindell wants to be there. Let me tell you what's hard. Some of the other companies I have, the employees don't want to be there. Now, General Flynn and Mike Lindell are not employees of the tour, but they want to speak. They want to share the truth. They're excited. But some businesses I have, you have to almost harass, finagle, taser employees to make them want to come to work. No, seriously. And so usually the drama with employees starts as soon as I get in the building. So now that I have my man cave built, I try not to come into the building until about right at 5, because as soon as I come in the building, here comes the HR problems. And it's every week there's something. And so my most recent one was I walked into the building and I go, it appears as though there is the smell of weed in my office. So I go into the office, knocking on the bathroom door. I go into the bathroom door. There's a fog. There's a fog.
It's glaucoma.
And I see a very happy guy in the bathroom. He says, "Hey man, hey." I'm going, "Are you smoking pot in here?" And he goes, "What?" I'm going, you, and that's the reality. So I have to get up early every day. I have to organize my day. And so for me, I wake up at 3 a.m. I'm not saying that's a pro tip for life success. That's just what I do. And I like to spend at least 2 hours a day organizing my day before the day starts. And then I have a very clear, for me and my wife and I had to agree on when my day is done. So today my day is done at 5:30. That's when my day is done today. That's what we've committed as a family. I can start at 3, but I have to be done at 5:30 because we have church tonight, and that's what we've agreed to. So, Randy, you've been married for how long? You and your wife been married?
About 17 years.
Okay, so talk to me about how many hours a week you're willing to work and kind of those boundaries. How have you been able to find a sustainable move? Because you and your wife, great folks, you get along well. You actually work together in the business. How have you guys designed your calendar?
Well, I get up really early, just like you, Clay. I
Yep.
get up around 3:30. That meta time for me is the time to just kind of relax, get away from the noise. I work on a checklist, and then I just kind of obsess about that checklist all day. But I work at least 60 to 70 hours a week, and I love every minute of it.
You love it.
I love it.
I mean, you're beautifying backyards. I mean, the pergolas you do, the outdoor kitchens, the fire pits, they're awesome. If you guys go to pmhokc.com, you can see your work. And every week I think you give our team at least 10 to 15 new images to add to the gallery of just awesome projects. You just turned someone's backyard. You did a massive 6-figure remodel in their backyard. An incredible update you did. I saw the pool you just did with the swim up bar.
Yep.
Oh man,
Big one.
impressive. Okay.
Yep.
So let's talk about Ultimate Cloth for a second. I mean, you guys, when you started this company, how did you guys find the time to start the company? Because I'm sure you weren't sitting around doing nothing before you had the idea to start the Ultimate Cloth.
No, that was true. I think that, it was kind of gradual because we were closing up one business and getting into Ultimate Cloth. Our office is in an old farmhouse.
Cool.
And it was originally our home before it's now just our office. As you can see, we're in the Florida room. But it was 24/7. I don't know how we found the time. There just was the time. I mean, there just wasn't an option. Because, we ate it, slept it, drank it, we woke up, and every once in a while, if he was done with what he was doing, he'd come and say, "Susan, come home," but I was already home.
I have kind of a funny story. When I first met General Flynn and we started talking often, whenever you meet somebody, you kind of have to understand their boundaries and how they communicate, And so like for you, Randy, I know that if I text you, you'll call back when you're free.
Yep.
But your phone, if you call, it forwards to your office.
Oh yeah. Before that happened, I was getting 150 calls a day, and it was pointless. It was the flat tire calls.
But you've set it up that way. So if I call Randy, bing, it goes to your office. I know that. So I text you, you call when you're free. I get it. We understand that. So with General Flynn, I said, "Hey, sir," summarizing the conversation, but I don't want to overwhelm you with stuff. What's the best way to communicate with you? He says, "Well, just send me a text if you ever need something, whatever." So, pretty early on in the relationship, I mean, in the morning, I wake up at 3, I'm organizing my day. And I thought, well, I made it. So I typed myself a to-do list note later in the day, text him the following information. Cause I don't want to send him a text message at 3 a.m. So I look at my phone. I've already missed 2 text messages from him. So I recognize he's an early riser too. And I find that with all successful people, they all find the time to get stuff done. Now, the next box, if you download it, you can download this for free by going to thrivetimeshow.com/free resources. This is from page 4 of the Boom Book. The next box here is you want to improve your branding. Now, this is the part that's tough because branding is people's first impression when they meet you. Now, Randy, when you pulled up, this is the first time you've been to the new building since it's been constructed. Is that right?
Yep.
Did you see any of the signage?
I did.
Okay.
I was very impressed with the signage.
So last night we had an interview. We interview candidates every Wednesday night. We had about 40 people here for the job interview. And on the property, I also bought a property for my mother-in-law. So she has her house. We call it Grandma's house. There's this big sign that says Grandma's house. However, apparently in the email when you apply for the job, and we say after we've talked to you, we send you a confirmation email to tell you where to go for the interview. So we said it like, "Hey, Carl, we look forward to seeing you Wednesday night at 5:30. We send you well, apparently if you use like the Apple map, it takes you to her house. So my mother-in-law's got like 40 people going, I'm here for the interview. Or they're not really sure what to do, And so I recognize I need to improve the signage. So therefore, and again, these are just, you don't learn in a lab, you learn by doing. So the rhythm of entrepreneurship is you define what you think is going to work, you act, then you measure and refine. You define, act, measure, refine. Define, act, measure, refine. Define, act, measure, refine. Turns out when I was on the Amanda Grace show, a lot of people that come to the Reawaken America tour listen to Amanda Grace. I was on a great show about a week ago. And let me tell you how many people came to the Reawaken America tour as a result of that interview. 0. Because the show, I agreed to be on the guy's show, and the guy's show, I don't think a lot of people listen to the guy's show. And I don't think it was but he's a good guy. I don't regret doing it, but it was kind of like investing time. I'm glad we connected. Hopefully we helped one person know what's going on. But Randy, have you ever bought ads that just didn't work?
All the time.
What were your favorite ads that cost the most money, that generated the least revenue?
That I've made personally?
Yeah, and I'll try to one up you.
Well, I mean, it really is funny. You make the ones that you think is going to make the work the best, and they work the least. But I would say probably some Facebook ads that had some humor behind it. Maybe I was in the picture, maybe I wasn't.
Yeah.
And they didn't work out as good.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I could say this. I remember back in the day when I was growing my DJ entertainment company, I met with a rep and he says, "Clay, I love what you're doing." And I go, "Oh, you do? Oh, yeah. Oh, you DJ'd for a friend of mine. Your company's incredible." And Clay, if you would just get in magazines, the full page magazines, you would kill it in Tulsa People. I mean, you would be. Clay, I could get you in Tulsa People, Oklahoma Magazine. He's just stroking that 22-year-old ego of mine. And I'm telling you, your brand deserves to be a full page. You can't be half page. You're not a half page kind of guy. You're a full page. You're all in. And the thing is, for you to really know if it works, you need to commit for at least 12 months. I recommend 24, but if you commit to 12, get you a little deal. If you commit to 24, it's a phenomenal deal. So I'm like, well, I am a big deal in my mind, the 23-year-old mind, and I am an all-in kind of guy. So I am going to commit for a couple of years. I'm in. Let's go. And let me tell you what didn't work. Those magazine ads. And every month I paid. So again, your job, Sean, as a consultant, is to help the Ultimate Cloth here get in front of their ideal and likely buyers. And the only way we do that is through massive action. So I want to get your thoughts on this, Sean, and then we'll talk about the Ultimate Cloth here. One of our clients called grillblazer.com. Randy, do you have one of those yet?
I don't. I need to get one though.
Dude, you need one. But if you go to grillblazer.com, we've worked with Bob to get Bob on Dude Perfect, the world's #1 YouTube show. We've got him on so many podcasts where he's been interviewed. He's been featured. His product has been demoed on these YouTube channels. And we found that the best way to sell a Grill Blazer is to get his grill gun, which is kind of like a blowtorch for grilling, is to get it on outdoorsman kind of grilling, backyard, how to make your own survival paradise shows. Those are the shows that do well. So Sean, with Ultimate Cloth, what kind of shows are we going to try to get these guys on?
Yeah. So we talked about automotive, obviously cleaning. If there's like people who have a following that are cleaning, like cleaners, that's an obvious one. But I mean, even like preppers and like campers and pretty much anybody who owns anything or installs anything that's made of stainless steel. I mean, there's a lot of different options for who might actually utilize this cloth.
So Susan and Steve, what have you found to be the most effective way thus far to market Ultimate Cloth? Like, has it been trade shows? Has it been online ads? Has it been throwing Ultimate Cloths into the lawns of neighbors? What's the best?
We originally started doing trade shows, and I think our family thought, we had fallen off the face of the earth because nobody saw us for about 4 or 5 years for the weekends and any holidays. We were all doing trade shows of all kinds all across the country. But then, then obviously with COVID hit and we started getting word of mouth and get just people that were purchasing the cloths for themselves, decided they wanted to become a distributor and sell the cloth themselves. So our business started growing and growing in that direction, which really changed the focus of what we were doing at that point of just going out and doing trade shows.
Well, for the most part, once we got it going to all these trade shows, and it was everything, because you can use the cloth everywhere, and everyone can use it. Everybody wipes the surface sometimes. But we would ask them, when we would do these shows, if, we had 2 criteria for them, requirements, so to speak. And one was if they weren't in love with the cloth, we wanted a phone call because we knew that there was a reason why. Plus, we had a 30-day money-back guarantee. But usually they were doing something very simple. And we said, when they are in love with it, tell your friends and family about it because you're our advertising. And they did. And they did. I mean, within the first few months of doing the trade shows, we were selling. We had somebody that we sold cloths to the embassy in Ecuador.
Wow.
Because they had family that had seen it at one of our shows, and they said, "You got to get this."
And I'll encourage everybody out there. You have to come up with, again, on page 4, you have to come up with four different ways, maximum of 4, but 3 preferable, 3 ways to reach your ideal and likely buyers. You want to go with a 3-legged marketing stool. So you got to make sure your branding looks solid, but then you've got to have 3 effective ways to market. And the only way to figure that out is to define, act, measure, refine. And if you go to page 125 of the Boom Book, page 125 for anybody out there, you can circle all of the different marketing moves. You can download this for free, the PDF, page 125, again, by going to thrivetimeshow.com/free resources. And so Randy, correct me if I'm wrong here, but it seems like for PMH OKC, we have the following 3 legs that are working great, and then we're adding more. But one is, you pretty much know people are going to find you on Google now, and they're going to read your reviews, because you have so many video reviews and so many Google reviews, and you come up top in the search engines. Would you agree that's one leg?
I would say it's probably the strongest leg.
And how often do people comment on, wow, I watched your reviews, or wow, I read your reviews? How often are the reviews mentioned by your ideal and likely buyers?
All the time we ask them that information. And even when they're the one giving the review, they're the one saying, oh, I saw you on Google and I read your reviews.
Yep.
And we're just living in a world nowadays where people don't want to get out. They don't want to call. They just want to look on the computer and find some information and make a decision right there.
So let's talk about it again, folks. So again, I'm hoping this applies to somebody out there. I'm hoping this is getting some creative juices flowing for somebody out there. Leg one that works great for you. And then we've worked with you for almost 3 years, I think, 2.5 years.
Right at 3 years.
How
almost.
much have you grown since we first shook hands?
We were 70% growth year over year, 3 years in a row.
It's unbelievable.
We were 2.5 million a year, and now we're going to hit 10.
Oh, it's beautiful. So the growth again, but what I want people to understand this is Randy has diligently, when he puts a pergola in your backyard, you're going to love it. Bottom line. And are they perfect? No. But before they're done, they ask you, hey, are you happy with this? Is there something I need to tweak? And if someone says, hey, I want to tweak this, but you make sure they're happy first.
Oh yeah. It's all in the follow-up.
So you make sure they're happy. Then after they're happy, you say, hey, can we ask you for an objective review? And you do that consistently when you've been doing it for 3 years. So leg number one, people find you in Google. We can teach people at the workshops how to optimize the website. Then you get Google reviews and video reviews. You're great at that. Leg two, not as strong, but a good leg, is people find you on social media. You got Facebook ads and you got Google AdWords. The problem with that is it costs money every week. You know, you're dropping thousands of dollars a month, but you do it. Would you agree that's maybe leg two?
Yeah, it's, Facebook is kind of a pay to play, same thing, so if you're not spending money, you're kind of irrelevant. Other than just the branding that you're doing, posting once a day, things like that. But it's very important for us because we do get a lot of leads from them.
Now your margins are different because if you install a pergola, what's the least expensive pergola if I said, I want a basic bare bones pergola, what's the least ticket you could probably spend at this point?
I would say a 10 by 10 pergola would be the smallest we would build. And they're going to be $38 a square. So that's the $3,800 ticket just for the smallest one we do.
So even if you made a 20% profit margin, and I'm not saying that you do, but even if you made a 20% margin, you might make $550, $560 on one pergola. Whereas the Ultimate Cloth, your margins, again, how much is it for one cloth? $7?
Yeah. $7.
Yeah. So again, it's a different conversation. Okay. Now the next leg that you have going well there, Randy, and again, correct me if I'm wrong on any of these, is you have a very good relationship with people that refer you. I feel like there's certain people in Oklahoma City that know the work that you do, maybe landscapers, pool installation people. And when someone asks for a pergola, they know who to call. Would you agree that's a strong?
I do. And, like when we started talking about the legs, I feel like I have 30 legs, but if you had to narrow it down to 3, I think referrals are really big for us because, the only thing that produces a referral is results.
There you go.
So you have to have the results to get the referral.
So if you guys were to cold call every, in Randy's case, you're getting referrals from, landscapers, pool installation companies, whatever. But if you guys were to cold call one of my clients, it's called Roy's Garage, RC Auto Specialists. If you called every automotive repair shop in Oklahoma and said, hey, who do you guys use for your cloths, for whatever, you're probably going to close some deals there, and then they just keep buying from you ongoing. But everybody out there, we have to figure out what's the best use of our time. Not the only use of our time, because to Randy's point, you have many, many legs going on, but you got to figure out what are your strongest. Now, the one thing we're transitioning right now is you've done trade shows forever and you've done very well, but how much money does it cost you to put up a typical trade show booth?
So we do it very big. We have a big space. We put about $60,000 into one booth.
And you win every time the best in show, but you're putting up 60 grand. I mean, you're building a mini backyard pavilion for these trade shows. It's epic. You win the awards, but it's 60 grand for you.
Pretty much. I mean, you don't have to go that big, but our goal is to be the showstopper of the whole building. You have to look at what's that purple cow, the same thing that you always preach. And, you walk down those aisles, what are you going to notice about someone? We focus on all 5 senses and the big displays, and that works really well for us.
And again, now you've had those trade shows going, but now because you built a showroom, it's kind of like a trade show every day.
Yep.
And you just moved into your really, really nice showroom about 5 months ago?
Yeah. We're coming up. Yeah. So March, April is when we moved in, and it's it's like any retail store. You got to get noticed and everything, but it's really taken off, doing really well.
And so now it's starting to grow, and it's kind of, and I'm not suggesting that you would stop trade shows, but it's kind of like you look at your revenue and your costs and your time, and you're like, does it make more sense to keep doing the trade shows, or should we focus on the showroom? These are the kind of conversations, but I encourage everybody, you've got to come up with a 3-legged marketing stool, and you have to apply massive action, because when we start doing the Reawaken America tour, let me tell you this, when I felt like God was really calling on me, pushing me to do this thing, I didn't really have a plan yet for how to do it. So I couldn't sleep. And I talked to my wife. I said, I feel like God wants us to do a Reopen America tour with General Flynn, like at the peak of the pandemic, lockdowns, quarantines, vaccinations, mask mandates. We need to do it now. And so she said, well, call him. So I call him with like great, almost, I'm like, I hope he doesn't say yes. If he says yes, here we go. So, boop, 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 boop. And I call him, like, General Flynn, hey, this is Clay. I feel like, God wants us to do a Reopen America tour where we expose the truth about election fraud, medical fraud, the Great Reset, and give people a call to action, get back to God and get involved. Everybody has to get involved, get in the school boards, fight back. And he says, I know, but it has to happen through the church. And I'm going, what? Is he reading my mind? So when we start marketing it, though, I want people to understand this right away. As soon as I announced we're doing it, here comes the advertisers. The guy who sells the billboards calls me and says, we could put up a billboard on every billboard in Tulsa for as little as $50,000 a month. And I'm like, people can name their price, right? I mean, and then in comes the TV advertisers going, hey, we could totally promote this on TV for $20,000 a month. I can get you a good campaign. And then in comes and I'm going, I think I need to make my marketing budget $0. So I sent out an email to my database, to my database of customers for my businesses that I own, which was a little over 500,000 people. Boop. And then I called people like Amanda Grace and said, can I hop on your show and share people about it? And we had 50,000 ticket requests. In a week, we had 4,500 tickets we sold, and we never spent any money on advertising. Other than it was like $4,000 to send out an email and a text to everybody. But I mean, again, everybody out there, what's the point of this? We've all got to find a way we're going to market our product. Okay. Now let's move on. Let's assume that somebody actually buys something. Wouldn't that be great? If somebody buys an Ultimate Cloth or somebody buys a PMH product, you have to wow people. You have to wow people. You have to do it. And if you wow people, they'll come back often. So Randy, did you ever see the videos that we sent people if they signed up for the online school?
I did not.
Susan and Steve, have you ever seen these videos?
I don't believe we've seen that one. We've seen a lot of the videos. But...
Okay, this will blow your mind, or it'll be disturbing to you. Okay, but I'm at Whole Foods and I met this guy named TL, and I'm going to say this is called a Thrive. I'm going to go to YouTube and type in Thrive 15 TL Odell. I met this guy at Whole Foods, and he's singing, and I love music. Okay, he's singing at Whole Foods. I'm going, this guy's really, really good. So I said, hey, you're really good at singing. He goes, yeah, because I go, can I pay you to sing 8 hours a day? Welcome videos for people that subscribe to my online school. He says, what are you saying? I said, well, people pay $19 a month to subscribe to the online school. We usually get 10 to 20 subscribers a day at thrive15.com. He said, are you serious? You want to pay me? I said, what will you pay me? I said, oh, it's like a gig, whatever your gig would charge. He's like, so you're going to pay me a couple $100 a day to sing songs? I'm like, yeah, dude. So this is the kind of stuff he would send people. Imagine that you filled out a form for $19. You sign up for an online school and you get this sent to you. The magic was we sent it to you within 15 minutes of the time you signed up. Wow. So here we go. Here we go.
Hey, Stacy, SVP of Solar Faith. Yeah. Ooh. My name is TL Odell, and I'm here with Thrive15.com, and we just want to tell you that we're looking forward to working with you. Oh, Stacy, we'll be contacting you very soon. Yeah, Stacy, it's your time
now,
to.
Now, again, this is like all day, every day. So this is another one. This is what his job was. I can listen to these all day.
He's got a good voice.
He's the best.
Hey, Nathan. My name is TL Odell. I'm here with Thrive15.com. And we just wanted to welcome you to Thrive Nation. Yeah. We took the very best books and the very best minds, and then we condensed them to 15-minute episodes. Ooh, Nathan, if you got any questions, oh, I'm talking 24/7. All you do is call Nathan. Now it's your time to thrive. Yeah.
And every time we had sent it to these people, they were like, "What is this?" No, I'm serious. And he did this all day, every day. He just sent in videos. And what happened is people, when they get the video, and they go, "This is amazing." They share it with their friends. So you've got to somehow create that magic moment where people want to share. And how do you do it? You got to wow people. So as we're talking, we're going to go back here, talk about the ultimate cloth. I'm just going to give people a bunch of ideas. Hopefully one of these resonates with somebody out there. Okay. So Tom's shoes, do you know, back in the day, Tom's shoes, they set up the idea. Every time you buy a shoe, they give a pair of shoes away. So you would like buy a pair of shoes and they'd go, as a result of your purchase, we're sending free shoes to somebody in Africa. And people loved it. Another example would be Warby Parker. They used to send to you a thank you video and a follow-up call every time you bought glasses online. There was a restaurant that I went to, it was actually a client of mine, the Outback Steakhouse here in Tulsa. And there was an Outback Steakhouse, and they were having a hard time because when you guys go out to eat, Susan and Steve, how long is the longest wait you're willing to wait? If you go to a restaurant like Outback and the seating, they say, yeah, the seating is going to be, how long is too long for you to wait if they say that there's a wait?
It's over a half an hour.
We're out of there.
Yeah, we're out.
What for you, Randy?
We're on to the next one.
I'm about 30 minutes.
See, and I'm like 4. No, I'm not kidding. So Dr. Zellner taught me a move. If they say there's a long wait, I got move 1 and then move 2. I get in the car and go. Move 1 is this. Move 1, I say, can I sit at the bar? And then they go, well, yeah, you sit at the bar. That's usually a move. And if they say, they kind of hesitate, I go, can I pay you $100 to sit somewhere? And they'll go, yeah.
There's always a seat then.
So that's the Dr. Z move I've learned. But if they say no, I go, okay, that's fine. I get back in the car. I can't do the wait thing. You know, I can't do it.
It's tough.
But this restaurant, this Outback, was booming, and it was so busy, people didn't want to wait. So we'd hit the peak of sales. So my client back in the day, I said, we have to wow people. And this is back when I used to go to people's businesses all the time, because I only had 15 clients. So I'd show up at the business and I'm like, hey, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to just let me be the front desk guy and let me do moves. And I'm going to find the move that works. He goes, okay. It's like, so tonight we're going to do anybody, if there's any wait at all, they get a free Bloomin' Onion and an alcoholic beverage or a beverage of choice free. If there's any wait at all. So they say, how long is the wait? You go, it's going to be a minute, but we're going to get you free Bloomin' Onion free because it costs nothing to make Bloomin' Onions. We'll get you a free beverage and we'll get you in right away. And we found that nobody left, very few. Once they'd had one beverage and one Bloomin' Onion because they were like, this guy's great. They almost feel like they need to stick around, and it costs us like 80 cents. Mm-hmm. But it created that wow moment. And it just, that little move is that move increased sales dramatically. Mm-hmm. Everybody needs a move that wows people. So I'm going to start with you, Randy. Then we'll go to the ultimate cloth here. What's a move that you've tried that consistently wows people? Like they go, oof, that's a good move. What's a move where you wow people pretty much every time? Because your reviews are smoking hot, Randy. Your reviews are incredible.
One move that works really good for us is we invite them into our showroom and we give them a free product and show them around at everything that they are looking at buying.
Once they come in the showroom and can see it and touch it, it's a move.
Oh yeah, it's the test drive.
So Ultimate Cloth, you guys sell products online and people never see you. So what are some moves that you guys think you could try or that you have tried that really connect with people?
Well, one we already spoke about was making sure that people who are buying the cloth, using the cloth, fall in love with the cloth, and tell their friends and family. I'd say probably 95% of the people in our, that we get phone calls from, and we take love calls. I call them love calls all day long because people love the product and they'll go on and on and on about,
this is what I'm saying. Those love calls, if you can get those people on video and add that to the website, that's going to increase your conversion. That's going to be very important. Video reviews are so powerful. Oh, yeah. So I would encourage you to get those love calls, quote unquote, get those on the website. That's powerful. And then the next thing we have to do as it relates to sales is we have to clearly communicate what it is that makes us different and or better than the competition. Yep. So, and it's not mean. We're in a culture where people say, well, I feel like Randy's a good guy. Sean's a good guy. And you're like, but who sells the better pergola? Well, they're both good guys, and I like Sean. I like, but who sells pergola? I'm like, well, Sean and I both can't make pergola at all. We don't know how to do that. But you need to be able to clearly succinctly explain that. So as it relates to the ultimate cloth, as we work with you guys, the 5 again differentiators that I think you have are: 1, it saves time.
Yep.
So it's more effective than towels, other cloths, chemicals. 2, you save money, because you're using less chemicals, less paper towels. 3, no more fingerprints. It's always gross when you have a flat screen TV with fingerprints or the mirror. I get the idea. Less risk, it's safe, completely harmless to people, no weird chemicals out there. And you got nothing to lose because you guys do a money back guarantee. Now, how can we communicate that more quickly, more effective? And Randy, that's why we have a great play button on your homepage right now. And everybody out there, if you're listening, if you don't have a play button on your homepage, you got to, that video, it's got to, hopefully I conveyed what I just said succinctly, but you want to do it in like 60 seconds. The best I've ever seen is Mike Lindell. Mike and I have got to be friends, and I'm telling you, talking to Mike Lindell is a lot like holding on. It's like you walk into a restaurant and you somehow attach your leg to a saddle of a stallion, and someone slaps the stallion, and woof, that's what it's like. It's like if you're on the phone with him, because I'll call him and I'll say, "Hey, Mike, a quick question," and Mike will say, "Yeah, great. Boom. What time do you need me?" "Okay. Hey, by the way, election fraud. We got to expose it. Here we go. We're taking this to the Supreme Court. I need you to get me on this show, that show. Hey, by the way, I need to speak." And he has got like 7 things he wants to, and it's not like schizophrenic. It's just, he's very effective at communicating. And 60 seconds, he'll communicate what could take some 180 minutes. No, seriously, he'll go, "Clay, well, I've got you. Boom. I'm going to speak this day in San Antonio, that day in San Antonio. 2, election fraud. Super important. We're taking this to the Supreme Court. What shows can you get me on? 3, hey, by the way, how's your promo code working out? Is the team taking care of you? Great. Hey, did you get those things that your wife ordered? Good. Okay, awesome, man. Thank you. Bye." But it's just boom, boom, boom. But our commercial has to be hot and succinct because people are so busy. So Randy, that home button on your webpage, it's probably never perfect. You're always working on it, always tweaking on it.
Always tweaking it, always updating it.
Always updating.
People love to hit play though. Oh,
they do. It's beautiful. We got to come with a 60. Everybody out there listening, though, you've got to come with a 60-second commercial that's hot. Now, let me tell you how you make that commercial hotter. Randy, I'm not asking you for the names of the clients, but have you ever built a project for a celebrity?
I have a couple.
Now, imagine that you had that celebrity on camera saying, "Hi, my name is such and such. I used Randy here for PMH to do my pool, my backyard." The conversion rate goes up. And I'm not going to mention the name of the company in Tulsa because I don't want people to think I'm attacking the company. And there's a company in Tulsa that's taken a very marginal athlete, but they're very well known, and they put them on all marketing materials, and their sales have gone way up.
It's the move.
It's a very marginal athlete that nobody knows unless you live somewhere between Tulsa and Oklahoma City.
I want to call him.
No. And the athlete never went on to do anything. No, the athlete never went on to play, but never do anything at the next level. Wasn't really that great while they were here, but everyone knows them and they like them, and they put them on the billboards, and their sales have gone way up. So move out there, folks. Think of a celebrity, and when you say I can't afford a celebrity, someone says I can't afford a celebrity. You ever heard of the Fajita Express, Sean?
You mean the George Foreman grill?
Yeah, the guy invented the Fajita Express, and nobody bought it.
Yeah.
For over a decade.
But you slap George Foreman's name on it.
True story. And I heard George Foreman tell me this story. I met George Foreman years ago. It's a true story. So George Foreman, he gets a cold call from the guy who invented the Fajita Express. Mm-hmm. And it's like, "Hey, I would love for you to be the face of my product, the Fajita Express." And, so George is like, "How many of you sold?" Not impressive. "How many of you?" And George is like, "I don't think it's a good fit." Well, George's wife says, hey, we've gone into bankruptcy. We've had a lot going on. We want to work with you, Mr. Fajita Express, but why don't we call it the George Foreman Lean Mean Grill Machine? And they're like, well, the fajita guy, the fajita king, he's like, "I can't pay you a lot of money up front. In fact, I can pay you nothing up front." So George's wife says, well, let's get a percentage of sales. That conversation has made George Foreman over $600 million.
Holy smoke.
Shonda.
So that's a move. And you say, "I don't believe that move." That's fine. Just look it up. Just type in Fajita Express, George Foreman. Prove me wrong. One more move. Have you ever heard of antique gold champagne? You ever heard of that, Randy?
I have not.
You ever heard of that before, Susan and Steve? Is antique gold?
No.
It was very C- champagne. Didn't do well. B-, C-, C+ wine. Not that great. Not that great champagne. So it's in bankruptcy. But folks, just look it up. Just type in Ace of Spades, Jay-Z. You can see the story. Ace of Spades, Jay-Z. So Jay-Z hears about this defunct champagne. So it's all secret. But he goes to the ownership and says, here's the deal. If I can take the exact champagne that you couldn't sell and let me put a new brand on it, I'll call it Ace of Spades. I'll put it in my rap videos. I think we could sell it for $300 a bottle, probably. I know you can't sell it for 30, but I think we could sell it for $300 a bottle if we put my name on it. And this guy, in France, I'm sure he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't see. He's probably, it doesn't make any. Who are you, Jay-Z? Who is the Jay-Z? Anyway, so that might have been more Italian, but the point is, by putting the Ace of Spades brand on this champagne that wouldn't sell, they now sell it for $300 a bottle. It's called Ace of Spades, and it's a real thing. So I encourage everybody out there, think if you're stuck right now and you can't convert. I feel like your video testimonials and your Google reviews are your strongest endorsement right now.
It is. People tell us that too.
They're hot, but if you for you guys, I would get as many of those as you can possibly. Obsess on those, taking those love calls and turning them into Google reviews. And then final thing I want to cover, and then I'll let you guys get back to it.
Could I hop in? I
Yep.
actually have to get to a
Yeah,
client.
you hop in a client meeting. You're a busy man.
I am
Thank
you guys' biggest endorsement on this show, though.
I
You guys
appreciate
rock.
you, Sean. Thank you so much. Final thing I want to point out is we have to track the numbers. And Randy, you and I, we have a call every week where we track the numbers.
Every week.
And every week, it's not an emotional thing. We track it. It's like, hey, I went to the trade show and this is how much we sold.
Yep.
Hey, I went to the trade show. This is how much we didn't sell. Hey, I did Google ads this week and this is how much we sold. Hey, I did Google ads this week and this is how much we didn't sell. And we just track the numbers.
Every week.
And when you take an unemotional look at your numbers and you diligently track where you're spending your money, you can start to figure out what's working and what's not. And that's that trial and error, that the define, act, measure, refine stuff that we just have to increase the velocity of that. If our listeners right now, if they want to go to ultimatecloth.com and maybe buy some of your products in time for the holidays, do you have a special going or something right now, guys? Is there something that maybe a special or a certain product you may encourage people to check out?
Well, what we can do is say Drive Time 15, and anybody who uses that discount code will get 15% off anything they order.
That sounds fair. Okay, so if you're listening right now and you go to ultimatecloth.com, buy something, tell them you heard about them through the Thrive Time show, get 15% off. Is that a fair deal?
Yes.
On any product, we've got several different types of products. All of them are different cleaning cloths with different advantages, but
they're all made with mirror fiber. They all
What
have
fiber?
It's called mirror fiber. It's the patented technology the cloths are made from. And so all of our cloths are all made from the mirror fiber technology. We just have some that are colors and we have our classic white. So they're all going to do the same wonderful job cleaning. So you don't have to worry about that. We just have a few differences just for our customers' preferences.
they're all simple, they're all safe, they all work.
I will say this,
No
having
street-
talked to you guys initially and having talked to Sean and knowing that you guys listen to Amanda Grace, I really am excited about you guys and the future of your brand there. And if you're looking for something for the holidays, sometimes you're like asking, what can I put in the stocking to for that special man or woman in my life? Maybe Ultimate Cloth is a good product to check out. That's ultimatecloth.com. Susan and Steve, thank you for joining us. I appreciate
Thank
you.
you.
And then if you're and Randy, you ship in all 50 states, right? You'll ship the TV enclosures, the cedar TV enclosures.
Yes. Just about anything but hot tubs.
You don't ship hot tubs,
We don't.
but go to patiogalaxy.com.
PatioGalaxy.com.
Okay, so you can go to patiogalaxy.com and see the products that you offer as well. Thank you guys for being here. I hope you have a great rest of your day. All right.
Thank you. You too.
Take care, guys.
God bless. Take
Bye.
care.
The number of new customers that we've had is up 411% over last year. We are Jared and Jennifer Johnson. We own Platinum Pest and Lawn and are located in Owasso, Oklahoma. And we have been working with Thrive for business coaching for almost a year now.
Yeah. So what we want to do is we want to share some wins with you guys that we've had by working with Thrive. First of all, we're on the top page of Google now. Okay. I just want to let you know what type of accomplishment this is. Our competition, Orkin, Terminex, they're both $1.3 billion companies. They both have 2,000 to 3,000 pages of content attached to their website. So to basically go from virtually non-existent on Google to up on the top page is really saying something. But that's come by being diligent to the systems that Thrive has, by being consistent and diligent on doing podcasts and staying on top of those podcasts to really help with getting up on with their listing and ranking there with Google.
And also we've been trying to get Google reviews, asking our customers for reviews. And now we're the highest rated and most reviewed pest and lawn company in the Tulsa area. And that's really helped with our conversion rate. And the number of new customers that we've had is up 411% over last year.
Wait, say that again. How much are we up?
411%.
Okay, so 411% we're up with our new customers. Amazing.
Right. So not only do we have more customers calling in, we're able to close those deals at a much higher rate than we were before. Right now, our closing rate is about 85%, and that's largely due to, first of all, like our Google reviews that we've gotten people really see that our customers are happy, but also we have a script that we follow. And so when customers call in, they get all the information that they need. That script has been refined time and time again. It wasn't a one and done deal. It was a system that we followed with Thrive in the refining process, and that has obviously the 411% shows that system works.
Yeah. So here's a big one for you. So last week alone, our booking percentage was 91%. We actually booked more deals, more new customers last year than we did the first 5 months. Or I'm sorry, we booked more deals last week than we did the first 5 months of last year from before we worked with Thrive. So again, we booked more deals last week than the first 5 months of last year. And it's incredible. But the reason why we have that success is by implementing the systems that Thrive has taught us and helped us out with. So.
Some of those systems that we've implemented are group interviews. That way we've really been able to come up with a really great team. We've created and implemented checklists. That way everything gets done and it gets done right. It creates accountability. We're able to make sure that everything gets done properly, both out in the field and also in our office. And also doing the podcast, like Jared had mentioned, that has really, really contributed to our success. But that, like I said, the diligence and consistency in doing those and that system has really, really been a big blessing in our lives. And also, it's really shown that we've gotten the success from following those systems.
Yeah. So before working with Thrive, we were basically stuck. Really no new growth with our business. And we were in a rut and we didn't know.
Oh, sorry. The last 3 years, our customer base had pretty much stayed the same. We weren't shrinking, but we weren't really growing either.
Yeah, and so we didn't really know where to go, what to do, how to get out of this rut that we're in. But Thrive helped us with that. They implemented those systems. They taught us those systems. They taught us the knowledge that we needed in order to succeed. Now it's been a grind. Absolutely, it's been a grind this last year. But we're getting those fruits from that hard work and the diligent effort that we're able to put into it. So again, we were in a rut. Thrive helped us get out of that rut. And if you're thinking about working with Thrive, quit thinking about it and just do it. Do the action, and you'll get the results. It will take hard work and discipline, but that's what it's going to take in order to really succeed. So we just want to give a big shout out to Thrive, a big thank you out there to Thrive. We wouldn't be where we're at now without their help.
Hi, I'm Dr. Mark Moore. I'm a pediatric dentist. Through our new digital marketing plan, we have seen a marked increase in the number of new patients that we're seeing every month, year over year. 1 month, for example, we went from 110 new patients the previous year to over 180 new patients in the same month. And overall, our average is running about 40 to 42% increase month over month, year over year. The group of people required to implement our new digital marketing plan is immense, starting with a business coach, videographers, photographers, web designers. Back when I graduated dental school in 1985, nobody advertised. The only marketing that was ethically allowed in everybody's eyes was mouth-to-mouth marketing. By choosing to use the services, you're choosing to use a proven turnkey marketing and coaching system that will grow your practice and get you the results that you're looking for. I went to the University of Oklahoma College of Dentistry, graduated in 1983, and then I did my pediatric dental residency at Baylor College of Dentistry from 1983 to 1985.
Hello, my name is Charles Kolaw with Kolaw Fitness. Today I want to tell you a little bit about Clay Clark and how I know Clay Clark. Clay Clark has been my business coach since 2017. He's helped us grow from 2 locations to now 6 locations. We're planning to do 7 locations in 7 years and then franchise. And Clay has done a great job of helping us navigate anything that has to do with like running the business, building the systems, the checklists, the workflows, the audits, how to navigate lease agreements, how to buy property, how to work with brokers and builders. This guy's just amazing. He's this kind of guy has worked in every single industry. He's written books with like Lee Crockrell, head of Disney, with the 40,000 cast members. He's friends with like Mike Lindell. He does Reawaken America tours, where he does these tours all across the country, where 10,000 or more people show up to some of these tours. On the day-to-day, he does anywhere from about 160 companies. He's at the top. He has a team of business coaches, videographers, and graphic designers and web developers, and they run 160 companies every single week. So think of this guy with a team of business coaches running 160 companies. So in the weekly, he's running 160 companies. Every 6 to 8 weeks, he's doing Reawaken America tours. Every 6 to 8 weeks, he's also doing business conferences where 200 people show up, and he teaches people a 13-step proven system that he's done and worked with billionaires, helping them grow their companies. So I've seen guys from startups go from startup to being multimillionaires, teaching people how to get time freedom and financial freedom through the system. Critical thinking, document creation, putting it into organizing everything in their head to building it into a franchisable, scalable business. Like one of his businesses has like 500 franchises. That's just one of the companies or brands that he works with. So amazing guy. Elon Musk, kind of like smart guy. He kind of comes off sometimes as socially awkward, but he's so brilliant, and he's taught me so much. When I say that, like Clay is like, he doesn't care what people think when you're talking to him. He cares about where you're going in your life and where he can get you to go. And that's what I like most about him. He's like a good coach. A coach isn't just making you feel good all the time. A coach is actually helping you get to the best you. And Clay has been an amazing business coach. Through the course of that, we became friends. I was really most impressed with him is when I was shadowing him one time. We went into a business deal and listened to it. I got to shadow and listen to it. And when we walked out, I knew that he could make millions on the deal. And they were super excited about working with him. And he told me, he's like, I'm not going to touch it. I'm going to turn it down, because he knew it was going to harm the common good of people in the long run. And the guy's integrity just really wowed me. It brought tears to my eyes to see that this guy, his highest desire was to do what's right. And anyways, just an amazing man. So anyways, impacted me a lot. He's helped navigate anytime I've got nervous or worried about how to run the company, or navigating competition and an economy that's like, I remember we got closed down for 3 months. He helped us navigate on how to stay open, how to get back open, how to just survive through all the COVID shutdowns, lockdowns.
I'm Rachel with Tip Top Canine, and we just want to give a huge thank you to Clay and Vanessa Clark.
Hey guys, I'm Ryan with Tip Top Canine. Just want to say a big thank you to Thrive 15. Thank you to Make Your Life Epic. We love you guys, we appreciate you, and really just appreciate how far you've taken us. This is our old house, right? This is where we used to live a few years ago. This is our old neighborhood. As you can see, it's nice, right? So this is my old van and our old school marketing, and this is our old team. And by team, I mean it's me and another guy.
This is our new house with our new neighborhood.
This is our new van with our new marketing, and this is our new team. We went from 4 to 14, and I took this beautiful photo. We worked with several different business coaches in the past, and they were all about helping Ryan sell better and just teaching sales, which is awesome, but Ryan is a really great salesman. So we didn't need that. We needed somebody to help us get everything that was in his head out into systems, into manuals and scripts, and actually build a team. So now that we have systems in place, we've gone from 1 to 10 locations in only a year.
In October 2016, we grossed 13 grand for the whole month. Right now it's 2018, the month of October. It's only the 22nd. We've already grossed a little over 50 grand for the whole month, and we still have time to go. We're just thankful for you, thankful for Thrive and your mentorship, and we're really thankful that you guys have helped us to grow a business that we run now instead of the business running us. Just thank you times 1,000.
The Thrive Time Show 2-day interactive business workshops are the highest and most reviewed business workshops on the planet.
You can learn the proven 13-point business systems that Dr. Zellner and I have used over and over to start and grow successful companies. I mean, we get into the specific steps on what you need to do to optimize your website. We're going to teach you how to fix your conversion rate. We're going to teach you how to do a social media marketing campaign that works. How do you raise capital? How do you get a small business loan? We teach you everything you need to know here during a 2-day, 15-hour workshop. It's all here for you. You work every day in your business, but for 2 days you can escape and work on your business and build these proven systems so now you can have a successful company that will produce both the time freedom and the financial freedom that you deserve. You're going to leave energized, motivated, but you're also going to leave empowered. The reason why I've built these workshops is because as an entrepreneur, I always wish that I had this. And because there wasn't anything like this, I would go to these motivational seminars, no money down, real estate, Ponzi scheme, get motivated seminars, and they would never teach me anything. It was like you went there and you paid for the big chocolate Easter bunny, but inside of it, it was a hollow nothingness. And I wanted the knowledge, and they're like, oh, but we'll teach you the knowledge after our next workshop. And the great thing is we have nothing to upsell. At every workshop, we teach you what you need to know. There's no one in the back of the room trying to sell you some next big get-rich-quick, walk-on-hot coals product. It's literally, we teach you the brass tacks, the specific stuff that you need to know to learn how to start and grow a business. And I encourage you to not believe what I'm saying, and I want you to Google the Z66 auto auction. I want you to Google elephant in the room. Look at Robert Zellner and Associates. Look them up and say, are they successful because they're geniuses, or are they successful because they have a proven system? When you do that research, you will discover that the same systems that we use in our own business can be used in your business. Come to Tulsa, book a ticket, and I guarantee you it's going to be the best business workshop ever, and we'll even give you your money back if you don't love it. We've built this facility for you, and we're excited to see you.
Hey, I'm Ryan Wimpy with Tip Top Canine, and I'm the founder.
I'm Rachel Wimpy, and I am a co-founder.
So we've been running Tip Top for about the last 14 years, franchising for the last 3-4 years. So someone that'd be a good fit for Tip Top loves dogs, they're high energy, they want to be able to own their own job, but they don't want to worry about, that high failure rate. They want to do that like bowling with bumper lanes.
So you give us a call, reach out to us, we'll call you, and then we'll send you an FDD, look over that, read it, fall asleep to it, it's very boring, and then we'll book a discovery day, and you come and you can spend a day or two with us to make sure that you actually like it, make sure training dogs is something that you want to do.
So an FDD is a franchise disclosure document. It's a federally regulated document that goes into all the nitty-gritty details of what the franchise agreement entails.
So who would be a good fit to buy a Tip Top Canine would be somebody who loves dogs, who wants to work with dogs all day as their profession. You'll make a lot of money, you'll have a lot of fun, it's very rewarding. And who would not be a good fit is a cat person.
So the upfront cost for Tip Top is $43,000. And a lot of people say they're generating doctor money, but on our disclosure, the numbers are anywhere from over $1 million a year in dog training, what our Oklahoma City location did last year, to 25, 35 grand a month.
To train and get trained by us for Tip Top Canine, to run your own Tip Top Canine, you would be with us for 6 weeks here in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
So we've been married for 7 years.
8 years.
8 years. So if you're watching this video, you're like, hey, maybe I want to be a dog trainer. Hey, that one sounds super amazing. Go to our website, tiptopcanine.com, click on the yellow franchising tab, fill out the form, and Rachel and I will give you a call. Our Oklahoma City location last year, they did over $1 million. He's been running that shop for 3 years. Before, he was a youth pastor with 0 sales experience, 0 dog training experience before he ever met with us.
So just call us, come spend a day with us, spend a couple days with us, make sure you like training dogs, and own your own business.
Well, the biggest reason to buy a Tip Top Canine is so you own your own job and you own your own future, and you don't hate your life. You get an enjoyable job that brings a lot of income, but is really rewarding.
My name is Seth Flint, and I had originally heard about Tip Top Canine through my old pastors who I worked for. They trained their Great Pyrenees with Ryan and Tip Top Canine. They did a phenomenal job and became really good friends with Ryan and Rachel. I was working at a local church, and it was a great experience. I ended up leaving there and working with Ryan and Tip Top Canine. The biggest thing that I really enjoy about being self-employed is that I can create my own schedule. I have the ability to spend more time with my family, my wife and my daughter. So my very favorite thing about training dogs with Tip Top Canine is that I get to work with the people. Obviously, I love working with dogs, but it's just so rewarding to be able to train a dog that had serious issues, whether it's behavioral or whatever, and seeing a transformation, taking that dog home, and mom and dad are literally in tears because of how happy they are with the training. If somebody is interested, I'd say don't hesitate. Make sure you like dogs. Make sure that you enjoy working with people because we're not just dog trainers. We are customer service people that help dogs, and so definitely don't hesitate. Just come in and ask questions. Ask all the questions you have.